Curious about voting?
Stay on 702.
1994 was a seminal moment, not only for the country, but absolutely for me personally. It was my first year as a university student. It was the year, of course, that people like me got to vote for the first time. I remember April 1994. I voted on the second day. It was around 5 o'clock. I went to Alexandra because in that election you could vote anywhere, but I thought it was important for me to be in a place that had been one of the playgrounds in the theatre against the struggle. So I voted around 5 o'clock and it was empty when I got to Alex around 5 o'clock that afternoon. I was living in the south of Johannesburg, so I had to take a few taxis to get there because those days I didn't have a vehicle. There was just this sense of change. I'm passionate about history and politics, and studying those even at the time, there was this sense that, my generation around the world, we were going to get things right, but also the idea of democracy gaining traction on the continent. The Republicans were out of power in the US. There was this real sense that the ideas of liberal democracy were going to gain traction, and we were going to be part of that changing of the world. I'm looking forward to the idea that South Africans across the board are still engaged in the political process, for all its flaws, with all its weaknesses, that people will rise to the challenge that democracy ultimately is a system in which you choose the best of what's available, because what's politics but the art of the possible? So that people are not going to go to the polls looking for, heaven, the ideal picture, the ideal party, the ideal manifesto, the ideal program, but they're saying, listen, within our framework, within our reality, this is what's possible, and I'm going to make choices based on what's available.
To make sense of how this election can transform the country,
Stay on 702.
For the curious.